Good morning and welcome to the news at 10, reaching you live on NTA News 24 Abuja. I am Nolene Ebel Ame. Thanks for joining us. Now the headlines. President Buhari's 7th outing at United Nations General Assembly described as worthwhile and successful.
From the feedbacks we have received, the world likes it, Nigerians love it, and the president has acquitted himself very well.
Spirit of brotherliness and unity resonate at various Independence Thanksgiving services nationwide. World Tourism Day in focus. Correspondent takes a look at tourism as critical economic development. Nigeria records 255 new COVID-19 infections. After a week-long official engagements in New York, United States, President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja. The president arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in the early hours of Sunday. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that President Buhari addressed world leaders at the 76th session of United Nations General Assembly, where he made presentations in various high-level meetings critical to global peace, unity, stability, and sustainable development, as well as met a number of world leaders, diplomats, and heads of several United Nations bodies. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, described the president's 7th outing at United Nations General Assembly as a worthwhile undertaking and successful.
I'll say at the multilateral level, very successful. At the bilateral level, equally successful. I think it's a trip that has been worth it. From every perspective, every angle we can look at it, it's been worth the while.
How you read his speech? What was appealing to you?
The fact that Nigeria's voice could be heard in international issues, very, very significant. If the whole world is speaking and Nigeria's voice is heard, very significant. From the feedbacks we have received, the world likes it, Nigerians love it, and the president has acquitted himself very well. That is the best stage in the world, and he has played very, very brilliantly there.
So when is the president resuming work fully?
Well, we're back home. There are some protocols that need to be observed. As soon as the protocols are accomplished, work starts.
In another news, Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary is in a few days, and ahead of this event, an interdenominational Thanksgiving service has been held in Abuja with an assurance that the nation will surmount its current travails and emerge in victory. State House correspondent Gideon Ifade reports.
What more could the children pray for at this time of our national life than peace, so they could all live in an atmosphere of love and unity in their fatherland? This has been the call at this twin anniversary, the 45th anniversary of Christian Association of Nigeria and the 61st independence anniversary of Nigeria, where the people raised their voices in prayers for peace.
Thank you for Nigeria. Thank you for our nation.
Thanking God for all he has done and for all he will still do in future is how the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, in his message, encourages Nigerians to hope for a better tomorrow.
It is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy.
Vice President Yemi Oshibaji says even though there are current security, economic, religious, and ethnic challenges, the collective vision of a united, peaceful, and prosperous Nigeria, where righteousness abounds, still abides.
Our current trials cannot draw the curtains on our story, because the vision is for an appointed time. So our today is not our tomorrow, because the vision is for an appointed time.
And believing in our country, Nigeria, that in spite of the setbacks, in spite of the challenges, Nigeria is destined to be a great country on planet Earth.
The Vice President, who led other dignitaries and clergies in the cutting of the Independence Anniversary cake, also congratulated the Christian Association of Nigeria on its 45th anniversary. From the National Christian Center in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Similarly, brotherliness and unity of Nigerians, irrespective of tribal or religious differences, were messages at various Thanksgiving services across the states in commemoration of Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary. Momso Demian Eti reports.
From Akure, Olushola Komolafe reports that the well-being of Nigerians was the focus of the service, where the clergy highlighted the need for patriotism and continuous prayer for peace and healing of the nation.
Be mindful of your words and how you speak to people. Work seriously on your character and attitude towards life.
All we need to do is to embrace love and build character so that we can be a better nation. The prophetic destiny for Nigeria is sure.
And in Jos, Rotkang Dimka reports that the independence service was attended by the Plateau State Governor, top government functionaries, religious and traditional rulers who harped on unity, peace and reconciliation for progress and development.
The scripture we have read is saying, "Far be it that I sin against God by not praying for those in authority."
We have come a long way in our journey to nationhood. By all standards, the journey has not been an easy one, but certainly one filled with hope, expectations, and high prospects.
Momso Demian Ati, NTA News.
Meanwhile, leaders at the 61st Interdenominational Anniversary Church service are appreciative to God for his blessings and abiding sustenance of the country in the face of various challenges. Francis Form reports that the occasion also marks the 45th anniversary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN.
We want God to bless Nigeria so mightily that all those who thought we are finished, they will hear about it and they will be afraid.
We are sorry for the audio problems in that report. And moving on, Vice President Yemi Oshibaji has stressed the need for people of faith to remain constant and relentless in advocating of freedom of worship as well as respect for human rights, fairness, justice, and the rule of law. This was during a night of award marking the 45 years of the existence of the Christian Association of Nigeria. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the Vice President Yemi Oshibaji, Leah Sharibu, and Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi received recognition for their exemplary roles in defense of human rights.
In recognition of your invaluable contributions as an ideal Christian in the Nigerian political space and governance.
The setting is truly of sapphire, associated with dignity, loyalty, serenity, faith, wisdom, and purity, befitting great personalities who have been honored here at this Christian Association of Nigeria Award night. Among them is Vice President Yemi Oshibaji, Secretary to Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, represented by his son, some serving and past governors, and some present and past National Assembly members.
Fairness, equity, and respect for the rights of others are fundamental to peace and security. We cannot talk about peace, we cannot talk about security without fairness and justice and compliance with the rule of law.
Strongly to remind the Church of the need for unity.
The award is of 5 categories: governance, fathers of faith, global ecclesiastical achievers, business and professionals excellence award, and perhaps most touching is the spokesperson for the oppressed and special recognition award. Late May Lafia and Leah Shaibu, who is still under incarceration of Boko Haram, received this award. CAN President Samson Ayokunle urges the award recipients to continue striving vigorously to build a more enduring name and legacy, and also speaks on some challenging issues facing the nation and says something drastic must be done quickly and urgently.
We salute the courage of our security forces and urge them not to rest on their awards until the entire nation is safe.
In Jesus' name.
In Abuja, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
Now, on President Muhammadu Buhari's address to the world at the 76th United Nations Assembly, guests on Good Morning Nigeria had highlighted pertinent issues not only peculiar to Nigeria, but Africa. The guests, who applauded sideline bilateral mutual meetings, are optimistic that the low-hanging fruits, if properly harnessed, will continue to propel Nigeria towards peace, greater economy, and sustainable development.
That we're all intervening in, and also through collaborations and alliances we have in terms of biodiversity, we're tackling all this. Then also the Lake Chad Basin, we're working closely with Ministry of Water Resources to see how the Lake Chad can be resuscitated.
With the state governments and local governments to come out with national strategies for mitigation of impacts of climate change. And then go to the EU, for instance, led by Germany, where billions of euros have been earmarked for the converting to assistance to developing countries, to go to the United Nations itself, to seek for funds and for technology to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24, coming to you live in Abuja. Up ahead, World Tourism Day in focus. Correspondent takes a look at tourism as critical to economic development. Details shortly.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms. For more information, log on to our website www.nta.ng or join us on our social media handles, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24.
News and more news.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Now to infrastructure. In spite of the concerted efforts and appeal made by both the federal and state governments to the drivers of articulated vehicles to shift ground and allowed contractors handling the Lambata-Lapaibida road project to commence palliative work on the failed portion of the road. This has fallen on deaf ears as the protest enters its 4th day. The gridlock in the affected communities in Niger State has caused hardship on the other road users as it has partially paralyzed socio-economic activities in the areas. Junes Ajayi has an update.
As the road blockage embarked upon by the drivers of articulated vehicles protesting the closure of Minabida Road by the Niger State government entered its 4th day, they are still adamant by not shifting ground. The gridlock in Bidda has impacted negatively on socio-economic activities of the residents and caused hardship on the other road users.
What we want first is that government should repair the road for us and we will open the blocked road.
Way out, the road should be fixed. If it cannot be done permanently, it can be done temporarily to allow vehicular movement. That, I think, is the way to go.
If one petrol tanker here should blow off in flames, that means all these trucks, everybody here is not safe.
We reason with the state government itself, because if this road that government have spent a lot on it, if they should open it now, you see that within even 2 weeks, the billions of naira that has been spent there will become wasted.
Meanwhile, both the federal and Niger state governments in separate statements have appealed to the protesting drivers to shift ground to enable the contractor handling the project have access to carry out the palliative work on the failed portions of the road. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Works and Housing, Babangida Hussaini, made the appeal on behalf of the federal government over the weekend. Similarly, the Niger State Governor, Abubakar Sani Bello, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Mary Noel Berger, also noted that although the tanker drivers have the right to peaceful protest as a group, their action has greatly infringed on the rights of other commuters, describing it as very unfortunate. Governor Sani Bello called for calm, assuring that the state government is already liaising with Federal Controller of Works in the state to urgently repair the failed portions of the road. Similarly, the situation on Lambata-Mina Road is not different from that of Bidda, as commuters are also going through a hectic time due to the blockage of that axis by the protesting drivers. Jones Ajayi, NTA News.
This year's World Tourism Day, observed every 27th of September, focuses on tourism for inclusive growth. Oyinaya Kaluoka in this report takes a look at this year's theme as it affects the development of the sector in Nigeria.
Hidden high up the Mandara Mountains in Adamawa State is UNESCO World Heritage Site, the beautiful Sukuru landscape. Recently, a group of tourists were at the site to explore its features. With the visit, the community came alive and everyone was involved, from entertainers, drivers, tour guides, the villagers, and many more. This captures the theme of this year's World Tourism Day, tourism for inclusive growth, ensuring that everyone is carried along.
We're looking at dance and the music and all other performative in a way that they should speak to the present and the future.
With the restarting of tourism, a sector badly hit by COVID-19, it is an opportunity to look beyond tourism statistics and acknowledge that beyond every number, there is a person.
When a country decides to develop tourism, it gives majority of the people the opportunity to be part of the society.
Nigeria, with vast natural and cultural heritage in boosting tourism, is working towards developing domestic tourism for the benefit of all.
One day, we will not be able to sell oil again because the oil has either finished or the people who were selling the oil to will not use oil anymore, or they will use alternative sources of energy. Tourism will never finish. Tourism will never end. So why not invest in something that you know the growth is inclusive and the potential is explosive? Let's do this.
We are looking at, introducing at the National Commission for Museums and Monuments different concepts and perspectives to our cultural display. One of these
is the ecotourism.
The World Tourism Day, observed every 27th of September, is aimed at fostering awareness of tourism's social, cultural, political, and economic contributions towards reaching the Sustainable Development Goals. Oyinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
And on business news, Nigeria and development partners collaborate on women and youth empowerment. Comfort Amodu has details.
Increased intra-African trade is what will drive economic development post-COVID-19.
The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Nigeria and others commit to developing regional framework and ecosystem towards harnessing the opportunities of the African continental free trade areas to unlock the potentials of youths and women in West Africa and Africa in general. A recent World Bank report on profiting from parity indicates that women entrepreneurship in Africa continues to earn lower profits compared to men, on average 34% less. Towards addressing some of the challenges confronting young people entering the job market, coupled with the negative impact of COVID-19, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Nigeria, Afrexim Bank, and 15 other West African countries are strategizing to support the economic empowerment of women and the youth.
When we translate non-tariff barriers into monetary terms, it's about 14.3%. Nigeria, a huge powerhouse. DRC, a huge powerhouse. Because we're in two regional economic communities, trading is difficult. What the CFTA intends to achieve is to make it very easy, make it seamless for trade between Nigeria and DRC to happen, and for it to happen just like trade between Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire or some other country inside ECOWAS. This is the strength.
Meanwhile, the Board of Directors of the African Development Bank has approved a new policy framework for the independent recourse mechanism to strengthen accountability for effective bank finance operations. The new mechanism has been restructured, replacing the previous external expert panel model with a fully integrated unit that will now lead all problem-solving and compliance review functions. With Business News, Comfort Amodu.
Recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria announced the introduction of the digital version of the Naira by October 1st, which is to be known as the e-Naira. But the question is, how ready are Nigerians to embrace this innovation, and what will be the implication for transactions in the country? Leah Katsun Babatunde has been looking at the digital currency recently announced by the governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele.
Monetary authorities around the world have been adapting to changes largely driven by technology. Now, just some years back, no one thought that these changes were going to come this fast. But thanks to coronavirus that came in 2019, it has changed the pattern in which we do our financial transactions, and perhaps forever.
Technology became the driver of growth this time last year in Nigeria and all over the world. The digital space has proven that you do not need to move around with wads of cash.
On October 1, a Nigerian should be able to download the eNaira app from either Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Onboard themselves, fund their eNaira wallets using their bank account or with cash at a registered agent location, and conduct transactions such as transfers and purchases at merchants' outlets that have onboarded.
Nigeria's 61st anniversary is around the corner. But how knowledgeable are Nigerians about the e-Naira?
There are currencies that are stored in banking computers.
Well, it's just like this our normal physical Naira, but in an online form.
It is a welcome development for those in the financial services and fintech space, considering the cost of managing cash and the push for transparency and stability in the money market.
Operationalizing the e-wallet, I will just give us like some step-by-step processes. You need to identify a participating bank that you will request a code from to activate your e-Naira account. Then upon that, you can now do a transfer from your regular account, bank account, to your e-Naira, which is exactly the same thing you can do, which is what we call bank to wallet or wallet to bank. The same thing e-Naira is going to be doing for you.
The e-Naira will play a complementary role to the paper Naira currency, and the CBN says it will come with a lower cost of transaction and help improve financial inclusion. In Abuja, Leah Katimbabatule, NTA News.
Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has expressed the desire to collaborate with companies that are ready to add value to the economy of Niger State. A statement by Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Niger State, Mary Noel Baje, says Governor Sani Bello stated this while meeting the different interest groups on the sidelines of Turkey-Nigeria Business Congress holding in Istanbul, Turkey. The Governor stressed that having forums for trade or investment opportunities between nations as this will engender the desire to growth and development in all ramifications. Investors in various sectors comprising agriculture, health, education, infrastructure, mineral resources, among others, met with the governor. The CEO of the organizing company, Window of Turkey, Bara Al-Sassar, said forums such as this will facilitate business between Turkey and Nigeria, offer more opportunities to boost the Nigerian economy and enhance the tourism industries of both countries. Al-Sassar said the forum is also an opportunity to bring together major stakeholders from Turkey and Nigeria to discuss ways of developing Nigeria in a mutually beneficial partnership. He appreciated Governor Abubakar Sani Bello for his attention and desire to partner with the investors, assuring him that it will be a worthwhile collaboration. This News at 10 is reaching you on NTA News 24. We are broadcasting live on the network service of the NTA. Still to come. Nigeria records 255 new COVID-19 infections. Do stay with us.
For now,